Welcome everybody to episode number 20 of Star Wars Happy Hour. We haven't been on a Saturday night in like what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that.
Think so?
But we are here tonight, and we're here to talk
Spoiler
about.
alert.
Yes,
we all
let me
got
just.
lives. We all got lives.
And spoiler alert for the Bad Batch, which I'm writing a banner as we speak.
Oh, I was about to do that.
It's gonna get heavy for this first hour. A lot of stuff. So if you haven't watched it yet, oh wait, that should have an S in it. Oh, we're off to a hot start. Hot start with the spelling, doing great. Spoilers.
It's fine.
That's what I meant to write. Spoilers.
Spoilers alert.
Spoil.
David.
Yeah, he said
It's been a long
S
day.
and I was reading and I'm like,
It's been a long
I'm like,
day.
there's
where?
Spoiler alert for the bat. Yep, it was right the first time. See, and this is why I suck at taking tests, because yeah.
If you guys ever wanted to know why David gave me access to the control room, it's
This
for
is why.
reasons.
This is exactly why. But anyway, spoiler alert for the Bad Batch. Spoiler. Let's just be clear. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. What are you doing? You're watching a Star Wars podcast. We're going to talk about it tonight. And then for the second hour of tonight's stream, we're just going to talk about whatever, as we usually do. So right off the bat, again, spoiler alert. Cad
It's
Bane
big and in blue.
is back, and it's blue for that reason, not for any other reason. So yeah, Emily, since you haven't been with us in a bit, how have you been doing with these Bad Batch episodes?
Well, I didn't watch any for a little bit, and then I
Mhm.
watched 2 in a row. And so, like, the 2 before this past one really blur together in my mind because I watched them back to back.
Mhm.
And then, I watched yesterday's, like, as soon as I started working
Mhm.
during that morning. And they've all been really good. I like, my predictions are kind of out the window. I have no idea what's going to happen anymore. Seeing Rex again was really good.
Mhm.
Also, full disclosure, because I haven't been on in a while, I have Invisalign, so I look and sound funny, or will for the foreseeable future.
You're good.
I'm on week 4, so S's are a little bit easier now, but still difficult. So
I had a palate expander as a kid, so I had a bar across the top of my mouth for a while. I couldn't talk for like 3 months, so I get you. I feel you. I'm with you.
Yeah, so if any of the viewers are like, what's wrong with Emily's mouth? It's the Invisalign, sorry.
And if anybody wants
worries.
to be rude about it, they can meet Hannah and I at the Denny's.
Well,
Yes.
hopefully at the end of this process, I will have a prettier smile.
Listen,
Anyway,
You already
all
had a
good.
pretty smile.
thanks. But yeah, seeing Rex again was great. I'm surprised that they didn't stay with him longer.
Mhm.
And this last episode, like, was really thrilling. I thought, like, I was on
Yeah.
the edge of my seat and didn't know what was going to happen.
We need a show segment that is the texts I send to Hannah at 8 o'clock on Friday mornings, because they're usually, I believe, about the point where Hunter got shot. She just got a text that just read, Hannah! And she goes, nope, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. Don't talk to me. I'm not okay.
Yeah. Well,
So, yeah.
the episode where they took their chips out,
Mhm.
I had seen a lot of tweets about it, and I thought it might have been Hannah tweeted something that I thought alluded to Wrecker dying. So I was watching that whole episode, like, thinking that Wrecker
Yeah.
was going to die, and thankfully that didn't happen.
Yeah. Honestly, I got faked out with Hunter for about 5 to 10 seconds. I was like,
I was not okay.
damn, he felt limp.
Yeah.
Like, I did not
I
think.
was at work and my boss was with me, so I couldn't react to what I was watching because she would not understand. And I was like, completely, no, it's not good.
Yeah. It kind of makes that line in Rebels that Rex has about their armor being better than the current armor, like, makes that line make more sense because, like, his armor was enough to keep him alive.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, the stormtroopers, when they get shot, they're down.
Yeah, they're down for the count. They get hit in the head with a stick and they're dead. You know?
You'd think, okay, so logic. I'm bringing logic in. I know that's not always a great
Yeah, I was
thing.
going to say, Rachel, we don't do that.
I know.
We don't do that here.
Bacon in space. It's bacon in space. But, okay, so they're moving from clones to stormtroopers. Wouldn't you want to protect your stormtroopers more than your clones because you have to go to all of the effort to go find more and conscript young versus clones you could just like cook up a batch? Or
I don't think so, because I think it would be more. I think they use more resources in generating new clones, right?
they might. I guess it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, whether it's the effort to find someone or build someone. But
yeah. And also, I feel like the Empire is just, their philosophy is so weird when it comes to like doing things efficiently, because you look at a TIE fighter and they're really good for speed and firepower. That's it. Those things are going to get shot out of the sky, you know, left and right.
they talk about it in, I think it's Alphabet Squadron, that TIE fighters a lot of them don't have shields. Some of the later ones do, but a lot of them don't have shields. They don't have astromechs, so if something goes down, you either fix it or die. It's bare bones what they can send someone out at.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. Their whole thing is overwhelming in numbers.
Yep.
And you know, it goes back to the discussion we had on a previous episode where it was the whole, the Empire and the dark side are so like machine oriented, and the Jedi and the Rebellion are more in tune with the natural world and trying to do things better and more efficient that way.
They're
But
also more focused. The Empire's more focused on offense rather than defense, and I think
absolutely.
that is probably like their hubris. Like, no one will be strong enough to attack us, so we're just going to attack them first, and then like we don't have to worry about defense because these rebels won't be strong enough to even like pose a threat.
Right, and it's the whole like, bigger is better to them, like this Super Star Destroyer. Why they couldn't have just stuck with a regular Star Destroyer.
I mean, it's just the same idea as like the First Order. Like,
yeah.
You know what the Empire's biggest weakness for a thing was? Remember when they blew up that Death Star? We're going to make it again, but we're going to make it bigger.
Yeah. And then instead of somebody deliberately putting a sort of, weakness into it on purpose, the way we're going to be defeated is we're just going to turn the shields off. We're going to do it voluntarily this time. But yeah, bringing it back to the Bad Batch. I mean, we finally saw Crosshair yesterday, and he's really, it reminds me of, it's as if Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom was never brought back, and he just stayed under the influence of the thing.
That movie.
That's how I feel about Crosshair right now. Somebody needs to bring him back.
True. It's just, he's like, you don't know how much is brainwashing, how much, because even before his chip went off, you got the idea he was kind of the not the jerky one, but he was the standoffish one. Even before they upped his chip. I don't know.
Yeah. I just want to point out, going back to our conversation about villains being either ugly or deformed, he like got his face burned on this.
He did.
Which marks that he is now like a villain.
However, before that, I was texting or messaging Hannah asking her when Crosshair got kind of hot, and she's like, "Hi, welcome to the Megan and I club," and I'm like, "Didn't ask to be here."
Yep. That's just what they do to their villains. Like, you can't
And
be a hot villain.
It is fairly. I mean, there's problems with the Bad Batch, and I'm editing an episode talking about some of them. There is a certain ableism in Star Wars with deformity and prosthetics and stuff like that equaling evil.
Yes, definitely.
And that it is a kind of code that's in our stories, but it's kind of, I mean, that idea of like Saw Gerrera losing his humanity and going farther where he doesn't care who he hurts as he gets, and there is that with some of the villains too. And there is some problems with that in Bad Batch as well that I've noticed. It's not that I don't like the show. I just, I would like Star Wars to do better as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think we discussed the ableism in the episode I'm editing because I recorded it a month ago and I'm a procrastinator, but we discussed some of the other issues. But it's something I've been noticing because I have people that point it out to me.
Yeah. Our podcast episode, The Man versus Machine, kind of goes into that. And
yeah, I think I listened to part of that. I don't think I finished it.
A little bit. We don't really focus on the ableism part, just how like machine and science in Star Wars like represents kind of the Sith, leans more Sith, and whereas the Jedi and the Rebels in the light side is very more like natural.
Yeah.
But Echo's character does kind of like subvert that.
Right. Right.
And you can make the argument that he is seen as damaged because of what the dark side, or not the dark side, but
what the bad guys did to him.
What the bad guys, I'm like, who was it then? Because now it's what the bad guys did to it. Like, like they took him and they like deformed him, and that could be a cause for pity instead of strength. But I think that at this point he uses it more to his strength.
Right. Okay. Yeah. and I think Echo too, a really cool thing about the character is even through all of that, he is still obviously more so now than right after they found him. He is still very much the same kind of character. Like he just looks different and he has these new abilities. But that was something I really liked, and he has been, and also some of the funniest jokes have been written around Echo.
Dad jokes. There is dad jokes.
So funny.
Is there an Echo in here? Oh my God.
That was so funny. But guys, Omega has been taken.
Yeah.
I'm not okay.
What is this? I'm getting serious Mandalorian, flashbacks now to Grogu being taken.
The problem is Hunter is very Rambo, but he could also be very Liam Neeson in Taken. He is going to find them, and he's going to kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it.
I do want to say I loved that scene where he wakes up and
you're it's like first person? Yeah.
Hunter's perspective, and you hear like the other members of the Bad Batch kind of like talking to him, and they're like, "Where's Omega?" And then I loved that scene so much. I'm like, man, up until this point, this episode, the way it was shot and everything, like, has been so good and so like unique. And then they ended it with that, and I'm like,
I'm blown away by how that show looks every week.
It's amazing.
I was watching it, and I was just looking at their flashlights, and I'm like, how did they do this lighting?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, I don't know much about animation, but it just looks so cool. And so I need to watch it again because I was so distracted by the flashlights and how cool it all looked.
Yeah.
I was talking to Brian from Pink Milk, and we said that almost with the Hunter perspective after being shot, earlier in the episode, Omega asks Tech what the war was like, and he gives her a very straight answer.
Yeah.
And doesn't go, but then with Hunter, it shows that confusion of war and battle and firsthand. So you really get that idea.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't put
People
that
have
together.
smarter ideas while talking to me, and I just parrot them. It's great.
Yeah, and I mean, she was so quick once shit started to get real, for lack of a better term. She picked up that bow and just started, going after it.
Yes.
Like very little hesitation. And for a second I thought I should have known before he stunned her that Cad Bane wasn't gonna just shoot her, But
Yeah.
for a quick second I was like, you better not just shoot a child on this show. Like, come on. But yeah, very much like The Mandalorian, and I'm curious to see how they go about rescuing her, who they're gonna have to contact to help, if they're gonna, because I don't think at this point, I think we've seen everything from the trailers. I think everything from now on is
Did we see
completely
that
new.
shot of, I know we've seen Rex, but did we see that specific shot that we saw him of in the trailer? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, when she's holding,
Okay.
yeah, I think so.
Okay. We are halfway through and we are in uncharted territory. Okay, so in Mando, right?
Mhm.
Grogu got captured.
Yes.
I can words. Grogu got captured at the end of episode 6, and we didn't get a reunion with him until the end of the season, which was 2 episodes later. Yes. Do we think Omega will be gone that long?
I think it'll be like a cat and mouse game for a bit.
Also, we are dealing with shorter episodes.
Yeah,
but
I think maybe episode 14. I'm gonna guess 14.
The thing is, now it's almost going to split Crosshair's mission's perspective, because they want the Bad Batch dead. But I don't know if the Empire knows about Omega, or if they want Omega dead, or if just the Kaminoans want Omega. So it could be that the Bad Batch is trying to get Omega while Crosshair's trying to get the Bad Batch.
Right. I follow.
Yeah, so it could be where it's you're trying to hunt while not being hunted. So it could.
Is there more than just this one season?
Yes, I believe so. I mean, I figure with a 16 episode first season, I think they're shooting for a season 2.
Because if there's not, this is how I think it would go down.
All right, let's hear it.
This is how Emily would do it. And of course it's gonna be
so first Yoda's the evil one.
Yoda's behind everything.
So in our Discord, I put my 3 a.m. theory. I literally woke up at 3 a.m. And I'm like, what if Omega doesn't have a chip? What if it's just programmed her into herself, like directly? And it was like my mind exploded at 3 a.m. and I typed this big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then all of the rest of us woke up and went, wow, Emily chose violence this morning.
Well, now that she's captured, what if they take her back to the Kaminoans and they do what they did to Crosshair and they turn it up a little? And then they're like, now go hunt down your dads. And the rest of the season is her hunting down the dads.
No,
and then she's
Emily.
like the last clone, and her name is Omega, which means last. And
children's show. This is a children's show.
All I'm going to say is if that happens, I don't want to see her have like a Wrecker at gunpoint.
Oh my God. It could be the end of the Hunger Games.
He loves her. And that's like his. I get like a real uncle vibes from him.
Yeah.
And that's like his niece.
Yeah.
Like somebody was saying that Hunter is trying to be a dad, but he's not the one imparting wisdom. Wrecker is. Yeah. Wrecker's the one who's better with him. Okay, so because of what you did, you guys have seen the Hunger Games, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Where at the end of it they say no, only one winner, and it's you have to kill or be killed.
Yeah, well, that's Catching Fire. Yes.
Or no, in in Hunger Games when they'd said 2 victors from the same district and then try and rescind the rule to get Katniss and Peeta to kill each other.
Oh, you're right. That is the first
And
one.
they almost commit suicide.
Yeah,
I'm
and then they
wondering
had
if
the
it will, if it's going to come down to, and it might be a cliffhanger for an episode, or God forbid the season, where it comes down to kill or be killed for Omega. And cliffhangers it.
Yep.
I do not want to see Omega and Wrecker have each other at gunpoint.
Yep. I mean, I've always thought that the Bad Batch are going to die during the series because we don't see them in Rebels.
Yeah.
Now,
Because
there are
Emily
a lot
woke up this morning and chose violence again.
That does not hold true to all Star Wars characters that we don't see are anyway.
Yeah.
But I've always thought that they were going to die, and I think this would be a tragic way to do it. But the way the story is going, I don't know. After that episode with Rex, where they were taking the chips out, there were so many little things where he's like, "Well, how did you learn about the chips?" And they're like, "Omega told us," and he's like, "Omega told you."
Yeah.
Like, there were so many little things like that,
Right.
that I think is going to be important.
I kind of was wondering the way, I mean, Rex was kind of being distant to Omega, but I wonder if they will have her, like if Rex comes back, which I think he will. I don't know what you guys' feelings on that. I mean, you saw like how sweet Rex was when Ahsoka was really young in the beginning of Clone Wars. You know, are we going to have Uncle Rex again? And my heart might not be able to handle it again.
I think I don't think so, just because it's such a different time. And I think everything that he witnessed, like he literally almost, aside from the Bad Batch and, you know, Gregor and Wolf that we meet again in Rebels, and Cut, everyone that he knew turned on him and tried to kill him. And I feel like anything that resembles the old life that he had, at this point, it's them and Ahsoka. And at this point, I don't think I think at this point, Ahsoka's off doing whatever she was doing in the novel. And I don't think he wants to get to that place again. And then obviously when we see him in Rebels and reunite with Ahsoka, he kind of has that that personality again. So yeah, I don't think so.
That's the hard part about when it's the prequel to something that you know both you know where this character is going to end up. It's like watching really idealistic Han and Solo, because you know where Han ends up, so you know something is going to hurt him badly to put him at that cynical level.
Yeah. Emily, what do you think?
Why is Star Wars pain?
There's a lot of time between now and when we see Rex and Rebels. So I don't know. I have no idea. I was surprised that he was working with presumably the Rebels right now, and that's how Trace and her sister contacted him.
Yeah.
I really thought that would be Ahsoka as Fulcrum.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was going to be Bail Organa, because it seemed like a similar profile to the last, like the cloak we see wear a lot. Also, I'm always down for any more Bail Organa content, but
yeah,
as we all are.
Cool to see Bail. I think Bail is like too high up the ladder.
And do we think at this point has the Rebel Alliance been created? Because I know that the start of that is his meeting with Ahsoka.
Yeah.
In canon.
Yes.
We know that there's, I mean, what's the rule on deleted scenes? Deleted scenes are canon unless they contradict other established canon, right?
I'm not sure. I think that's books.
Okay, because I think it's that they still heavily imply, and I think it's been still considered canon, that Bail and Mon Mothma have been considering rebelling as far back as Revenge of the Sith, because they saw where things were going.
Right.
With possibly with the input of Padme.
Yeah.
I believe that is still considered canon-ish somewhere in there. So it's, where is they're still in, I'm assuming they're still in contact, but Mon Mothma and Bail are both still senators. So they still both have to be very careful what they're doing
Right.
and play both parts against the middle. So, I mean, he could be pulling the strings, but we might not see him, or we might see him because he's pulling the strings, like we do in Rebels, where he picks up 3PO.
Yeah. Shoot.
Sorry,
Another.
I think I just answered that question, and it's been a really long day.
Oh no, you're good. Okay, so this show takes place literally right after Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, but I think some time has passed.
Yeah.
There was somebody calculating by the price they gave for the popcorn that Omega and Wrecker were eating, how many batches of it they'd have to buy. And if you considered that each mission probably took at least 5 to... Yeah, somebody did
it's
hell
been
of
at
a lot of
least a year.
It's been maybe not a year, but at least multiple months. It's been a while.
Well, thinking like they had like 22 things and they have one after each mission. So you think, well, that's 22 weeks, but each mission might take longer than a week.
Mm-hmm.
There's 52 weeks in a year. So I'd say maybe a year.
Okay.
At least, I'd give it at least 6 months, at the very least.
So, do you think, as we see the Rebel Alliance, if we see the very, very early days of it in this show, and we've already kind of seen a little bit of it with Saw, is there a chance that we get a younger Cassian Andor as
Cassian is 7 at this point, so I know he's been in the fight since he was 6, but I don't think he was on the front lines as a spy at 6 years old, because that would be dumb. 6-year-olds are stupid.
That was what I was going to ask, was at what point in the story is he 6? I don't remember.
He would be 6 when the Republic fell.
Okay.
He is 26 years old he would be 6 or 7.
Okay.
6, he's, he tells Jin he's been in this fight since he was 6, but the fight he was in since he was 6 was Cassian's family were separatists. They fought in the Clone Wars to try to get out of what they saw as the overarching falling Republic. So he was fighting against the Empire as it turned into the Empire, and we're led to believe he probably lost family in the Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. He is 26 when we meet him in Rogue One at 0 years at the Battle of Yavin Year. So he would be about 7 when at the end of Revenge of the Sith. So if about a year, he's in the 7 to 8 year old range right now.
Okay.
Sorry. Hi. I talk a lot about Cassian Andor.
So how old is Omega?
10.
I think she's got to be like 10, 11.
Yeah.
She seems like between 10 and 12 to me.
If they bring in baby Cassian Andor, y'all are going to have to come pick me up off the floor, because I'm going to be like flailing on I watch these at work half the time. I'm going to be just like flailing on the floor at work.
I honestly thought there was a chance that we were going to see Cal Kestis.
I don't.
Just because that planet is where his ship, the ship crashed.
I just don't know about them tying in it sounds weird. Like, I feel like the video game is more of a separate thing than but it may not be. I mean, I just feel like sometimes people don't really think of video games as Star Wars stories.
That's got to change, man.
It might. I don't know.
Emily, what do you think? I mean, a character like that.
I don't play video games. Mm-hmm. Not because they're not cool, but just because I just can't.
Yeah.
That's everything. I think that there is more reason to do that than like characters in a book or something. Because I think video games are more widespread and they're already a visual media.
Right.
And I know like in the Mortis arc, they were going to bring in, was it Darth Revan?
Yeah.
and they cut that scene because it didn't like fit the lore very very well. So I think there's a precedent for it.
I mean, that does make sense. Just to me, I don't know if it's just my bias of like video games as a different art form, because I do play video games. I just haven't played Fallen Order because I don't have a PS4 because I'm poor. Donate to our Patreon. Plug there. No.
Great plug.
But yeah, I didn't see them doing that, but they could have. Thanks, Dave.
I forgot to add the banner at the top of the show. But hey, good plug.
But there's this, I don't know, I couldn't see it, and I don't know at this point, because I don't, okay, so, again, I haven't played it. How is Fallen Order right after Order 66, I'm assuming?
There's a flashback that takes place right after Order 60. You see it happen through Cal's perspective, and you see his master die, and then they're in a pod, and the pod, I think, lands in Braca, and that's where he stays up until maybe his late teens, early 20s, and then that's where you take over him in the game.
So the actual game doesn't take place there, but we have a idea of where the character is. Okay.
Yeah.
Pardon me. I was wondering if they were going to, if the game was running concurrently with the Bad Batch storyline where it'd have to tie in perfectly. But no, there's a time gap in there.
Yeah, there is. Pretty big one.
Okay. That makes sense.
Because at the point of the game, it's the Empire. It's Inquisitors. It's, all that stuff. But
one of my friends described Bad Batch as Lucasfilm has taken his favorite bits of Clone Wars and his favorite bits of Rebels, which are like his two favorite bits of Star Wars ever, and just smooshes them together every week and hands them to him.
Yeah, no, and that's a pretty good description of what the show is.
I mean, I love it. And I never finished Clone Wars, but I love it.
Yeah. And oh shoot, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry, I started talking.
Oh no. I was gonna say something about this past episode, and then I thought about the half season as a whole. I don't think, and as much as I would have liked to have seen the character, I honestly don't think we're gonna get any, Force user for the rest of the season.
I just don't think it's gonna fit in that story right now, because all of this would be the point where all of the Jedi are in hiding.
Right.
And they got their own shit to figure out.
Yeah. The only one I think would be cool to see would be Quinlan Voss.
Oh, yeah.
To me, that'd be the one that I'd give a pass to.
That'd be cool.
Don't know that character.
He's the one with the yellow stripe.
Yeah. First made popular. Well, first seen in The Phantom Menace, then given a backstory after that character was, said to look cool, and then he was.
Obi-Wan doesn't get along with him.
Yeah,
he has.
He has thoughts about Quinlan Voss.
No, I remember. He becomes an acquaintance of interest without giving away too much.
Yeah. Okay.
Read Dark Disciple.
Yes. I've been meaning to read Dark Disciple, but I have y'all have seen my to be read list. It rivals Meg's and threatens to crush me on a daily basis. It's bad.
I've got a big stack of those too. I'm really slacking.
I don't know. There's so many characters we could have right now, and because honestly, I was telling my friend Adam was the one I was talking to about this, because he and I now have a tradition where either Friday night or Saturday morning, where he watches Bad Batch, we have a 5-text conversation about it, and then we don't talk for a week, and then 5 texts about every week. But yeah, so I get a text screaming every Friday evening, and it was that because he's a big Cad Bane fan, so when he showed up, but we were talking about this is really a time where we have the parameters, we know where the world is, we know where the world becomes, but we have all of this time in between that we haven't really been in that. I mean, Fallen Order, but that's later. Solo is later. Rebels is later. There's this whole chunk of time that's never been filled in that's now being filled in.
Yeah.
So we know where major players are at different times, but they could come in, they could not come in.
Yeah.
It's also,
If we
I mean,
see
you could-
anyone, there's kind of two, and this is why I think it was really smart to bring Cad Bane back. They're kind of like two thoughts. So you could bring back characters who we've already seen in Clone Wars, or bring back characters that will push viewers to sorry, S's are hard,
Oh, no, you're good.
to see other media that's out there like Rebels, Mandalorian. And I think they tend to do that more, which from a marketing perspective is wise. I think that's why they have been tying in Rebels a lot, because generally people who are watching Bad Batch have already seen Clone Wars, but maybe not Rebels, and they've probably also seen Mandalorian. I think that it was smart to bring back Cad Bane because he is a character from Clone Wars that we, I guess, didn't know what happened to him. I thought he was dead, so that was a surprise.
This is Star Wars. Nobody's actually ever dead.
But also,
except in the Ewok movie, apparently.
And except Ewoks. I can't with that one Ewok dying.
But also Cad Bane has a very Western feel to him, like very Western, and that ties into Mandalorian, which tries to be a Western, so they're still like pushing you in that direction.
And the whole bounty hunter thing, so hot right now because of Mandalorian.
Exactly.
And, oh my god, I'm sure we've talked about it before. That chase that was like the Attack of the Clones chase through Coruscant with Fennec.
Yeah.
So good.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of bounty hunters, I think, Emily, the reason you thought he was dead was because of that deleted arc or scene with Boba Fett and Cad Bane. I don't know if you remember.
I don't remember.
Okay. So there was going to be like a face-off between the two of them, and they were going to have a duel very similar to the one that he had with Hunter. And they were both, I think they both shot at the same time, and you see that's how Boba Fett gets that dent in his helmet.
Oh.
But you never see what happened to Cad Bane.
So
you figure that he may have gotten them, but now they could make that happen at a later date, or maybe Boba Fett's the third party in the second half of the show.
Which would make sense because
total sense.
Book of Boba Fett's coming up. So
God, I don't want more Boba Fett.
Yeah,
if it makes sense
as a logical,
it does. It does logically make sense.
I will love it, and if they have that face-off between Cad Bane and Boba Fett in this show, I mean, and the cool thing is that we haven't seen Boba Fett in as an adult in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So he's gonna look just like, or kind of close to the way that they're.
I guess looking. he'd be a teenager,
like a teenager,
right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, how old is he supposed to be when we see him in Clone Wars? He's like 10 in Attack of the Clones, so he'd be 13 at this point, 13, 14.
Yeah.
So he's a young teenager still.
Yeah. He might be like the Peter Parker of Star Wars at this point.
Look, he might be like poor little Caleb, who looks like a 12-year-old, but Freddie Prinze Jr.'s voice meant puberty hit poor Caleb like a dump truck.
I'll say this right now: there are a lot of Hispanic kids. I mean, you just go to Miami and you go to a middle school and you'll think this kid sounds like he's 24. But it was jarring in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie, because I wasn't expecting it. But then I was like, yeah, that's kind of how my friends sounded when we were 15.
I was on the episode I'm editing with the Sithy Minutes crew for the Unwhitewashed, the Bad Batch tag. We were we were joking about that, and I said I used to teach in a school, so there would be, all of the boys, their voices would change before their appearance changed, so they'd look like they were 12 and they'd sound like they were 20 until they got excited and their voice cracked. So you get to hear a lovely thing of Andres and I from in this episode imitating poor Caleb's voice cracking when he gets upset. So we're apparently mean. But no, I love that they got Freddie Prinze Jr. But
yeah.
it was just one of those moments where you went, "Oh, good lord!"
Yeah, it was. It's just because I wasn't expecting it.
I did not expect that voice to come out of that body. But
Yeah,
again, having taught middle school, yeah, a lot of kids the boys look like they're 10, speak like they're 20, and then one day they walk
yeah,
in and they look like they're 18, and I'm like,
yeah. I had this friend Nick in
"You were 6 inches shorter yesterday."
yeah, I had this friend Nick in 8th grade. He was like, 6 feet, 6'1", and I was like, dude, you're a grown man. Like, what do you? What it was like Billy Madison in middle school. It was so weird. But okay, so now that we're at the halfway point, what do you guys? How do you guys think this thing? I know Emily, you were kind of already alluded to your 3 a.m. thoughts. But how do we think this thing is going to wrap up? If it's just one season, and if it's season 1 of 2, 3, 4, what do you think?
They took care. Okay, so my fear was every time Wrecker had a headache, I was like, I have one fear.
Yeah.
And then they took care of that over halfway through the season. So I was like, everything's good. They're not going to turn on each other. They're good. And then Emily,
Yeah.
whatever her 3 a.m. thought.
That,
Thank you.
That was my thought too. I'm like, why would they keep planting that seed only to kill it? And I'm like, there's something else going to happen.
Yeah.
Either that or with crosshairs. I mean, but we already know his is gone.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
or his is
Rex
not
has
gone.
the line about it being like a ticking time bomb and not trusting their actions while they're in it. While the chips are in them. And that is scary, but there's a solution. Take it out. With Omega, if what I think is true, there's no solution. And that's even scarier because you can't take it out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kill or be killed at that point.
You got to take her out.
No, David. No. Okay, when we're making predictions, I remind you this show is, I believe, rated either PG or Y7. So,
listen, it's on a streaming service, so
this is not HBO.
It can be anything. Listen, I'm just gonna say they have the X-Men movies, the original X-Men movies, on Disney Plus, so this can be.
It's still,
dark
I guess.
Are they really on Disney Plus?
Yeah, X-Men 1, 2.
I need to rewatch
Last Stand, Origins, which is just god awful.
I think I like the second one.
So yeah, I remember seeing that in the theater. Super good.
There, I guess though, because it's a streaming service, they seem to rate episodes. I noticed this for Mando. They rate episodes individually. Like there's the earlier episodes of Mando were PG, and then it went up to TV 14 for a couple of them.
Interesting.
I don't pay that much attention.
I just happened to notice one because I noticed when they do it because Rebels obviously aired on TV, but I just noticed because every time Rebels freaked me out, I'm like, this is a children's show. Why?
Yeah, I have a theory, and I wonder. My biggest concern for the second half of the season is how much getting Omega back means to Hunter specifically, and how that could cause him, because I feel like you're gonna get him going with emotional decisions more so than logical, and that's where he's probably gonna butt heads with someone like Tech. And then there's gonna be conflict, and then Echo is gonna try to be the mediator between the two of them, and then Wrecker, is probably gonna want to go in, guns blazing every time. So I wonder if it's gonna be something like that where he's gonna try and do whatever he can at all costs, and not be as careful as he was. But I don't know. It would be interesting.
Do you think that one of the Bad Batch is going to die? We know Emily thinks all of the Bad Batch is going to die.
No, I think they're all going to die in a way that mimics their names.
Okay,
So
now we have
Echo's gonna fall down a
Jigsaw.
cavern screaming and create an echo.
No, I think Echo will maybe be uploaded in we'll upload his memory into a computer and then he'll just be an echo of a person.
He could
or
be a
something like
Jarvis.
that. Yeah.
That'd
L3.
be cool. Oh yeah. And Wrecker's gonna get wrecked.
Yep.
Hunter's gonna be hunted.
Yep.
And Tech is going to be
Electrocuted.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's gonna be teched.
And Crosshair's going to be sniped.
Yes.
Probably by Omega with her bow.
Ooh, in the eye.
No.
Yep.
Her
Where it has the
talking to him
bullseye.
and saying, her.
Done.
Or where it has the
Seriously,
crosshair.
why
Sorry.
would you say that?
She's gonna shoot him in the eye. What?
Yep.
What's gonna happen?
But
gonna happen.
Omega's saying, no, it's not you. It's y'all have seen Moana, right?
Of course.
I'm just checking.
Every time the fireworks at Disney while I was working, when it would go to how far I'll go, I was belting that shit out in front of the guests.
My
I
favorite
was like,
is,
come on,
is the
dude.
one that her parents sing about the coconuts. That
I
is one of my
told you,
favorite
I
Disney
randomly told
songs.
people to consider the coconut. Oh no, you weren't on. I was singing that the other day when we were on. Because
Yeah.
my sister and I would, for like 3 weeks after we saw that movie, would randomly tell each other to consider the coconuts. So that's the thing is, I really got that vibe from Omega, and Tamara Morrison's actually in Moana. Funny enough,
Mhm.
he voices her dad.
Oh, there you go.
Is speaking. Christopher Jackson from Hamilton sings for her dad, but that when she's approaching the lava creature with the heart of Tafiti,
Mhm.
this does not define you. Is
Mhm.
kind of what she was telling. This isn't you, Crosshair. You know what I told you in the brig. Trying to be that kid that can bridge
Yep.
that gap.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
I mean, it worked better for Moana, but maybe Omega should have sang it. You know,
I'm just gonna say right now, she's shooting him in the eye.
Yeah.
I
Well,
Doesn't
the
have
thing
to
is,
kill him.
will.
Doesn't have to kill him, but she's gonna shoot him in the eye.
it'll be so hard to have a happy ending because we know this isn't where we get a happy ending in the timeline. The happiest ending would be they all go work for the rebels, but then we would see them later.
Yeah, then it's like, where are they?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I've read fic that does this when they pull Rogue One off Scarif, but then they die like everyone else during the war. And first of all, I'm usually reading this going, first of all, how dare you? Second of all, but yeah, it's like, the only happy ending is they escape into a war.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's not really a happy ending unless they go back and go back and live with Cut, but Cut tend
Yeah, I
to
was
leave
gonna
now
say.
too.
Yep. Or
If,
they yeet themselves into hyperspace.
Yeah.
Someone we know.
Just freaking.
Like,
I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure they're what they're gonna do. They're gonna jump forward a couple of years, and they're all gonna be nice and happy on Alderaan, and then all of the kids are gonna be
good.
like, "Oh, happy ending," and all of the adults are gonna be like,
Yeah, be like, oh, this is even worse
it
than
was like,
what
come
I
live with
thought.
me
It's
on
like-
Alderaan. It's
Yeah.
chill.
like the
It's chill. It's so
oh my
great.
god, that story in the first from a certain
We got
point of
no
view where
weapon.
With Bale and Brea Organa.
no, it's
Oh,
it's the one where the soldier in the Alliance had lost his wife, so he's sending his toddler to live with his sister on Alderaan.
oh no, I
Yes.
didn't see that. Oh God, why did you say that?
I am here
Is
to
that
bring.
a story in a certain point of view, right? Am I making that up?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it is. There's also the one of Captain Antilles that he writes a letter to his family
Yes. Yep.
before
I didn't
Vader
read that
just
one
chokes him out.
Yet.
Yeah. Ow,
I'm
guys.
gonna
Ow.
cry.
Ow.
I can't.
Yep.
All right,
I
so
start drinking more during these sessions.
it's so Omega's gonna shoot Crosshair in the eye. Hunter's
Sure.
gonna be hunted. Wrecker's gonna get wrecked. Echo is going to fall down a well and create an echo as he falls. And Tech is going to be electrocuted. That's how they're all gonna go.
Yep.
All right, what a happy ending for the show.
You're welcome.
Jeez.
I know you all miss me.
And then you're gonna get Yoda at the end saying, "Hey, just had to happen this way. Sorry, couldn't do
It's
anything
like
about it."
the will of the force.
It's like that
Yeah, dude.
guy at the end of every Shakespeare play so there was a meme about this that says, "This is my favorite part of a Shakespeare play." Somebody comes in at the end and goes, what the fuck are you, what is this fuckery? Because it's like the prince at the end, or the prince and the friar at the end of Romeo and Juliet, who comes and says, look, he was married to her, but then there's this, and then, or, the guy, or what's his name, Fortinbras or whatever at the end of Hamlet, that's like, oh, this and that, and that's going to be somebody's going to have to come in at the end and unravel the tragedy of the Bad Batch. And it might be Yoda.
No, Yoda doesn't care about anyone. It might be R2.
Oh, yeah. Let me call Jason to see how he feels about that.
I was really hoping Jason was going to come in so we could watch his nephew live tell us to join him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
I did buy my dogs material and made them little scarves for St. Patrick's Day. Or not St. Patrick's Day, 4th of July. Sorry, brain.
I was going to say, damn, did
holiday.
we go backwards? Are we in the time loop of COVID?
Your other
guys, I've gotten like 12 hours of sleep over the past 3 nights. So it's been fun. So this fabric for 4th of July with like little stars and everything, but then it has little R2D2s and it says red, white, and blue.
That's funny.
Aww.
So when they have to take off their pride collars, they're going to have something equally handsome to put on.
Shoot, July 4th is in like 2.5 weeks, right? I get my tattoo in a month.
Yay.
Woo!
I have no idea how much it's going to cost. Luckily, I get paid the previous Friday or Thursday, so that'll be nice.
So you get paid bi-weekly or
I get paid bi-monthly, which is the most annoying thing in the world.
Yes, I know.
I hate it.
10th and 25th. 10th and 25th.
Mine right now, it's I think the 15th and the 30th. But my God, is it annoying.
Okay, so worse, when I was a graduate intern, you got paid monthly. You had to make your stipend last the whole month.
I hate that.
Which I get. That. You just budget it out different, but it was a pain in the ass.
Yep. Can't confirm.
I have to remember just to pay all my bills the moment I get paid and not wait for their due date, because then I'm gonna blow through everything before that happens and not have anything.
See, I'm usually pretty good.
Yeah.
My rent is set into 2 auto payments that come out of, so half comes out of each paycheck. Yeah. Got it all figured out.
Yeah. I have all my stuff set to auto, so I never know how much money I have anywhere.
Oh, Rachel, you use Cricut, right?
Yes, I do.
Do you have a Cricut Joy?
I don't. I have an Explorer.
Okay, because I'm selling my Cricut stuff. If you would like to have it.
Okay.
If you would like to buy it.
Yeah, if you would like to buy
it. I will message you later and see what's compatible.
Okay, perfect. Because I realized I haven't used it in like a year, and it's just taking up space. So
I was gonna say I have an Explorer, I think. I don't know. I have to make a bunch of people stuff because my friends saw the Star Wars stuff I've made for myself, and they all want some, and I'm like, okay, pay up because vinyl ain't cheap.
Yeah, and I've got a bag of tools for it. So
cool. I will message you later.
Perfect.
Yeah, I made a good people will fight if we lead them shirt, and now Missy wants one. I have a In the Heart of a Jedi lies her strength purse that now my friend Zames wants one.
Oh,
I really want to make a shirt, but there's the only rainbow vinyl they make that's actually rainbow pride stripe vinyl.
Right.
It's $25 for one single
ridiculous.
Piece. Stupid. But I was going to make a shirt that in regular black lettering said, let's get one thing straight. And then in rainbow says, I'm not. But haven't been able to find anything for it yet.
Oh. Well, that is going to conclude our first hour of The Bad Batch. If you got spoiled, sorry. There was literally a warning. There was a big ass banner that said "Spoiler alert: The Bad Batch." It was going to say "Spoilers alert," but I was corrected in time. So yeah, what are you guys up to this summer?
I am going up to my parents for Father's Day. My dog has an ulcer on his eye, and yesterday was my
no.
dog's birthday.
Oh, yesterday was my dog's birthday.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I'm so
It's
sorry.
okay. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, we had to say goodbye to our sweet dog Rex at the beginning of the month, which is part of the reason why I've been away. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were all thinking of you.
Yeah. That is so tough.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
Like-
the Followers of the Force dog podcast anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a good boy.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been up to. We did that, and then we got out of town for a week. Went to see our parents.
Yeah. Probably much needed time
Yep.
away.
Yeah, saw a lot of friends and family because my husband and I are from the same town.
Mm-hmm.
Our parents live on the same street.
That's what you were saying, that you were just running back and forth down the street.
Yeah, so
That's awesome.
Like it is technically walking distance, but they live on opposite sides of the street. So
Right.
And me, my husband, and his father were all working from home. Well, working remotely because it's not our home. So they would work at his parents' house, and I would go to my mom's house and work there with the cats.
Oh, that's so funny.
But then like my lunch would be at that house, so I'd have to go.
I remember when I lived in Fort Myers, my grandparents lived right across the street from us. So I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen Everybody Loves Raymond, but it was literally that setup where grandparents right across the street, and they would come over almost every day. And now they live like 10 minutes down the road.
See, that's how it was. The weirdest thing for me when my grandparents obviously are getting older. I lost 3 of them last year. But the year before, in 2019, we moved my mom's parents up to the same town we lived in. My grandfather was in assisted living, and my grandmother was in a house nearby. But it's the weirdest thing for me now, because I was always the kid. My parents moved away from where my grandparents lived when all my cousins stayed in town.
Mm-hmm.
So then suddenly I'm the cousin that gets to see my grandma all the time, and it was really weird.
Yeah.
I only got to see before COVID lockdown, and she unfortunately passed, but I got to see my grandma V once when she moved to a nursing home there before COVID lockdown, and then she passed away last September. But it was so weird to see her. Like, I could just drive from my mom's house and see Grandma V instead of driving cross country to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're just going to spend time with the parents. I got a new Rogue One graphic novel that my dad picked up from the bookstore for me this morning, so I'm excited about that.
Oh, speaking of books,
what you have
comes out the 29th, I believe.
Yeah.
Just got it in the mail a couple days ago. Thank you to Del Rey. We're gonna hopefully have a review out very soon. Like I said, we've just been incredibly busy.
Yes.
But I read much faster with a hard copy, so hopefully, I can't. I think it's just, I don't know what it is about reading on the phone that just makes me very sleepy.
I see your phone. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking about my Kindle, because I read them on my Kindle.
Yeah, if I had one, I would totally do it there, and it probably would be a little easier. And I also got the Essentials Legend collection that was released.
I want
So we've got Path of Destruction,
Oh, they're so cool.
Heir to the Empire.
And they're out now.
They're out right now.
See, I still have the Heir to the
And
Empire. My ex
Shatterpoint.
bought me the original Thrawn trilogy from Legends for one of my birthdays, and I never finished reading it.
Mhm.
I will show you what I got. Oh, good lord. I'm dying. Sorry.
The audiobook for Heir to the Empire is also really good. Oh yeah, I saw you shared that on the
Oh, I did,
in
didn't
the
I?
Twitter.
But yeah,
I think so.
I've been watching this. I'm like a beetle and got stuck on my back. Oh yeah, hi. Say hello to the people boots. So I've been watching this at the comic store, and it's like $30 there, and it's much cheaper if you buy it on eBay. So
Yeah.
I got one on eBay because I finally bought it because it's the same outfit as all of her other figures, but it's a different one. So now I might have already pre-ordered the new Black Series figure of Jin too.
Good. I would
saw
expect
a
nothing
Qui-Gon
less.
figure today. I don't collect them, so I don't know what
I have one
it
question.
was.
Is he buff?
Is he buff? And is he bare chested?
I don't think he was bare. I think he had robes on. But I saw it because I was buying Pokemon cards.
Oh, nice.
And they were like pricing them for me. They had to look them up, and it took a while. And he was on the shelf behind us, and I'm like, oh, And I told my husband the whole story about how he's the mascot of the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anybody else tell stories from our podcast and then realize that you sound like a crazy person? Also, Boots wants to show you his bow tie.
Oh
my
Boots, you're
gosh.
so handsome.
Yeah, go lay down. He slept on my. Okay, it thundered here all night, so I woke up to a dog sleeping right here on my chest, and I'm like, "Hi, you weigh like 10 pounds. Please leave."
Yeah, the weather over here has been crazy the past week. It finally hasn't rained. It didn't rain yesterday. It hasn't rained today. But
it has poured here.
Yeah, y'all are getting the tropical storm, right?
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
it just
pretty
started
far
thundering
north.
again.
I just heard thunder here too.
Yeah, it's thundering here too.
Is the world coming to an end?
You know what?
Yeah.
After 2020, it might be Godzilla.
Honestly,
at this point,
maybe
I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
You know what? At this point, I feel like if Godzilla just like crushed my house, then it would be faster than anything else.
I'd just be like, damn, it's real. Cool.
You've earned it.
Yeah, dude.
The world was yours for a while.
Also, I was on TikTok the other day, and I saw for the first time in my life cicadas out in the wild.
Oh.
And
on
I
TikTok.
saw. Yes.
You saw them. Okay, but
Yeah.
so you didn't see them.
No,
in
I
the
didn't
wild.
see them. I saw them in the wild through a screen.
Okay.
And then there was a guy, a construction worker with a jackhammer.
I saw
and he
that.
was drilling away, and he was covered in them.
Coworker sent. I believe. Okay, so my coworker sent us this video today to our group chat, and my coworker's response. Where did it go?
I was terrified.
Was Evan's exact response, and he said this out loud where I was sitting next to him as he typed in the group chat was absolutely the fuck not.
Yeah.
And I go, what are you talking about? So I click the video, and then 5 seconds later, Evan hears me yell, nope!
Those things are like that big. I didn't realize how big they were.
Well, there are different types.
Oh, well, those are the big ones, apparently.
I assume that those are like the 17 or 13-year broods, which are different from the yearly ones.
I don't like it. I would rather deal with mosquitoes all day than see a cicada.
Yeah. So
it would terrify me. Also, I got that bug out of the car.
Yes! Good job!
Finally. It only took 4 days.
Wait.
It was dead. I just never got to it.
Okay.
Every time I kind of felt bad. I was like, dude, you're just chilling. You're dead. It's fine. And then my girlfriend got in the car and she's like, get that out of the car. And I was like, all right, fine.
Listen.
I wanted to leave it for the maintenance people for the car.
Cicadas are gross, but they won't hurt you.
But
mosquitoes
Emily,
can kill you.
It's the crunch.
I feel like it's But it's the size. It's like when you go to pick up a bug, any kind, could be a cockroach, could be whatever. If you get a paper towel or a napkin, if I can feel it in my hand,
It's a little.
I can't.
Cicadas are like derpy though. Like
My
they
thing
just
is, if
What do
you
you mean
step
derp?
on it and you can feel and hear the crunch, can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it.
are
So
they
today,
crunchy though after they're because they morph. You know, they
yes,
get on the
no,
trees and
because
then they come out.
they got the exoskeleton like beetles do. They crunch.
What? Wait, who they morph?
Yeah.
What do you mean they morph?
All bugs morph.
No,
Okay, but in what
they
regard?
climb on the trees and they like shed their outer shell, like they break out of it like a chrysalis. And that's why you always have the like empty cicada shells on trees in the Midwest.
But what?
think
But what do they morph into?
They just get bigger, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
they're
They
bigger.
just get bigger.
I
Great.
think it's like
Love that.
They get big. Yeah, it's kind of like a
Love
snake
that for
shedding
me.
its skin, but they're
Great.
yeah.
Great. Now, what's their lifespan?
they basically eat, scream, have sex, and die.
Well, unless they're the 17 or 13-year ones, in which case they burrow in the ground and live there for 13 or 17 years and then they come back.
And then they
you're
eat,
telling
scream,
me.
have sex, and die.
So you're telling me, let's say in 13 or 17 years, I could be out on vacation somewhere where these things are, and they could just on the particular day that I happen to be out in a park, they can just come out and say, "Fuck you, David. It's your time."
There are maps though, so you know where to avoid during certain years. Like
I'll have to remember
2024,
that.
I'm not going back to Missouri.
20. Okay, I'll remember that 2024.
But it's not the same per region. Like 2024 is Missouri's brood,
Okay.
but like other states have different broods, and so they will come out different years.
As long as they don't come to Florida, I'm fine.
I think you're fine.
Okay, good. I just won't leave.
Okay.
I won't leave the state.
I feel like a cicada expert.
Because I always heard about them, but I've never seen one until this past, whatever day it was, and I was terrified. I was like,
my sister, who grew up with me from the same place that I am, didn't know the difference between a cicada and a locust. And we had to like explain it to her. We're like, no, cicadas are the ones that cling to trees and scream, and locusts are grasshoppers.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And she's like, I still don't know. I'm like, locusts are scary. They eat stuff.
I kind of feel the cicadas. I also might just go climb a tree and scream. So speaking of leaving the state, I got this text from my coworker earlier. He's going to Vegas in December with some of his friends, many of whom are dumbasses. So Prince has a group chat for all of us going in December, and he was saying something about getting booked, and somebody says, yeah, where are we going for this Nevada trip? Another guy goes, Nevada? Prince told me we were going to Vegas. And I'm not really sure if I'm ready to spend a weekend with these people. And I'm like, you're all in college. What are they teaching?
Oh, that's funny. That's great. Oh, man.
Anyway, so Star Wars.
Yeah, so Star Wars.
I think I showed some of y'all because none of you all were you on Wednesday night, David? No, because I was running it. I got all of my Funko Pops.
Oh, is that
I ordered? Yeah. So a friend in a Discord was getting rid of them for cost of shipping, so I requested like a ridiculous number of them and paid $20 for all of them. So I had Memphis, and I have Jana, who is the only woman left from Rise of Skywalker I didn't have yet.
Oh.
And I have both Tico sisters.
Oh.
I already have a Rose somewhere, but I needed another one. And Kira in her cute little fur wrap. Love the fur wrap. And Maz and another Leia and another Rey and L3 And I bought Missy, R2D2, and Grogu.
Very nice.
Very cool.
So yeah, all for cost of shipping. I have all of this stuff.
I don't have any more room.
Yeah, I pre-ordered.
I don't know where I have room, but I decided I wanted them, so I'm gonna make room.
I pre-ordered the new Ahsokas because, like, I so far have every Ahsoka that's been released, and I just like have to. At this point,
you have to complete it, right?
I just have to complete it because everything that comes out is going to be like cheaper than the ones I have.
Yes, I've got good old Ben Solo as well.
He
but I don't have
finally
any room.
came.
Yeah, a room is just it's dwindling at this
Yeah,
point.
they need to start paying rent.
That's why my friend on the Discord was getting rid of them because she's like, I want to refine my collection, and I'm like, I'll be a pack rat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might get rid of my Harry Potter ones.
See, I was considering because I have the Black Series, the 6-inch, and the 3-inch Cara Dunes, and I kind of don't want those around anymore. So I was considering getting rid of them, and I'm like, maybe I'll just toss them in the yard sale pile. And somebody goes, no. There's a lot of right wingers that'll pay a lot of money for those. I'm like,
100%.
You're not wrong. Take their money.
be gay.
Yeah.
Best pride thing I've seen is somebody made a rainbow chopper sticker that just says "Be gay, do crimes," and I'm like, I feel like that's just summed up a chopper.
You're not wrong. Oh man, next Saturday, I am co-hosting my first open house, which is exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's gonna be a time. I'm gonna be like, listen, you want to buy? Yes, no. All right, get out.
So you won't be on the show?
No, I'll be on the show. It's in the morning. It's way before.
I will not be on the show next Saturday because I am going to my first Pride.
Oh,
that's cool too.
Wait, next Saturday is the
26th.
Okay. I was like, I don't even know what day it is anymore.
You know what? We're doing good if we get days of the week. Days of the week are good.
I thought it was July.
That's really exciting. I have never been, but I have a rainbow dress that I currently probably couldn't fit into, but I keep it through every like time that I dig out my closet to donate. Like it has stayed because I'm like, one day I'm gonna go to Pride. I'm gonna wear this rainbow dress.
See, I am making. I had bought a. Do I still have my stickers? I put my stickers somewhere. I put everything somewhere. I have lost things everywhere. My friend Allison designed me a outfit because, well, not a full outfit, but a shirt because I wanted a Rogue One Pride shirt because I'm me, and people weren't making them. So I have one that's the Starbird and Rainbow, and it says "Rebellions are built on hope." So I have it on a T-shirt, and I have my cute little black and white polka dotted skirt that I am putting a rainbow tulle on the bottom of, so it like peeks out like a petticoat. But I can't wear my Star Wars shirt at this Pride because I'm going with my theater company, so I have to wear our Pride shirts. But it'll be good.
That'll be good branding. I'm sure y'all will get a lot of eyes on you.
Yep, and I'm gonna take my sun hat and put a rainbow ribbon on. It's gonna be cute. I'm gonna be real cute. I'm gonna be so gay, guys. It's
all fun.
I went to the same bar that's hosting it. Closes off the street and hosts a memorial for the victims of the Pulse massacre every year. So that's where I was last Saturday night, and it was a good group of people. So I'm looking forward to Pride with the same group of people under happier circumstances.
Yeah. I used to live like 15 minutes away from Pulse. But after what happened, and I remember I drove by it one day, and just a huge memorial. And it's such a like, you drive by it and it's such a weird feeling because you just think like, you know, what were, as it was happening, like what people must have been thinking, you know, because it's such an, the building itself, it blends in like on that street, and you're just like, oh, it's just another nightclub on that particular road, and then now you can't miss it. Anytime you drive by it.
See,
Yeah, it's just super crazy.
I remember when Pulse happened because the night, like the day before it happened, we were going to, there's a wine festival every year in my hometown, and my family flies in. But that morning of the 11th, my dad and I were running a 10K. And we'd
Mhm.
been talking about the news in Orlando that morning because we woke up to the news that Christina Grimmie, who is a singer I really liked, had
Yeah,
been shot and
Yes.
killed in Orlando the night before.
yeah,
Yeah.
And so we did the 10K. We went home. We napped. We went to Wine Fest and everything. We had all this fun. We get up in the morning to go zip lining because my sister could get us in for cheap where she worked. And I was feeling just really upset about this mass shooting. And I mean, we live in America. Like, mass shootings
Yeah.
upset us, but something about me, I thought it was just because, theater community, LGBTQ friends. I'm queer and I was in the closet still. So
yeah,
that was my thing, is it was a hate crime, and it really resonated with me. And once I figured out what part of my identity it was, that's why I felt I had to go to this memorial this year, which was because it's been 5 years and it doesn't feel like
Mhm.
it's been that long. So it was in
Yeah,
2016.
yeah. One after
So,
we go off air, I have something something about that
mhm.
to tell you guys, that when I found out about it, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, real vulnerable this Pride Month.
yeah, no, I mean, it's such a, it's just so, it's so crazy that it's happened that long ago already. And just, yeah, like when I heard about it, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because like already you, for the most part, you hear about something like that happen, but once it happens either in your state or in your city or in your town, you're kind of far removed from it. And then once you see it, like, oh, it's right there. It just, makes everything so much more, it's such a more visceral feeling. Same thing with Parkland,
Yeah.
with the shooting at the school. There was a shooting right near a lot of my family lives in Miami, just, like a week or two ago. Just like random stuff, people showing up to like a party and just opening fire. Like, it's like once people said, and I forget, during lockdown, I don't remember seeing or hearing anything.
No,
But once
nobody
they
went out.
lifted restrictions, it's like we're back to,
Yeah. I mean, there
back
was a
to
lot
that
of
normal.
hate crimes against
Yeah, that
Asian
100%.
Americans.
And domestic violence went up during lockdown
Yeah,
because everybody was out.
right.
We had where I live, we had a mass shooting last summer right after
Mhm.
I moved here. Somebody took a gun to their place of employment, killed 2 or 3 people and themselves at the Bunomatic. And of course, it was right after I moved here, so everybody had seen, on my social media, I was moving to Springfield,
Yeah.
so that was fun. People are like, "Hi, are you okay?" I'm like, "I work nowhere near Bun. I'm totally fine." But it
Mhm.
was, I mean, in your it's really common, but you don't expect it to come to your town
Yeah.
or your state. We had one in Aurora, which isn't up north
Yeah.
by where my parents live, Aurora, Illinois.
Yeah.
And then that was right when my dad needed his FOID card, the firearms owner identification card, renewed. They live out in the country, so my dad will, have never has ammo, but in case he needs to, get rid of a rabid animal or something,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, keeps his FOID card up. And right, he had just sent it in, and after that happened, they slowed it way down because they're like, this guy should have raised red flags and he didn't. We got to change our
Yeah.
vetting process, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. It's such a, like, I don't know. It's nuts. It's really nuts. But hopefully at some point, and honestly, like, if you're being real about it, as the kids like to say. This isn't gonna end, in our lifetime. Sorry to say. Might not even end in our kids' lifetime. Who knows when it's gonna end. But that's not an excuse not to do anything about
Right.
it.
One of the things we
and
like
it won't
to
end until you do something about it.
Right.
Like, if you keep doing the same things, nothing will change. I mean, that's
one of the things we talked about, because obviously I've mentioned I had a true crime podcast before this one, and we would cover mass shootings, but not name the shooter more than we had to because of that. But studying the ideas of these, they are a more frequent recent phenomenon. But one of the first ones was somebody in the 40s Howard Ura did the walk of death down his New Jersey neighborhood and killed a ton of people in what we would consider idyllic Leave It to Beaverville.
Yeah.
But one of the main things people have learned in recent years is one of the biggest predictors of acts of violence like this is violence against women. So until we straighten up laws on violence against women and domestic violence, domestic abusers keep getting weapons to hurt more people.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now that everybody's really
Star Wars happy hour.
Yeah. Isn't it fantastic?
Every now and then, you know what?
Heavy
Every now and
hour. I wish I had a drink, but I can't with my Invisalign. I can only drink water with them in.
That's my mom's getting Invisalign at the same time, Emily. So she's going to be in your boat.
Yep, it's hard.
It is. I remember when I had a retainers for a while after my braces were done. So that and the fact that you can't everything feels weird.
Oh yeah, it's weird. And I haven't posted about it. One, because I kind of wanted to surprise people, and that didn't work out because then I went to see my family. So
yeah.
I didn't tell my parents because I wanted to see if they could figure it out, and they never did. I had to tell them by the end of it. My mom pretty much saw me take them out. Oh, thanks, Tina.
Thank you, Tina.
Yeah, thank you,
Appreciate
Tina.
it.
We're not usually this deep, really.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna get a beer. I'll be right back. We need to liven up the mood a little bit.
Yeah. But my mom pretty much saw me take them out before we went to eat dinner, and she still didn't
get it.
I'm like,
I
Mom.
love moms because moms are okay. Dads are a specific type of clueless, but every now and then, I dyed my hair purple, and my mom's I'm like, you didn't even realize my hair, and my mom goes, oh yeah, I noticed it was a weird color. I didn't think it was worth comment. I'm like, Mom.
Yeah, I had to tell my dad because my sister asked him if there was something about me that was different that he didn't notice yet.
Did he think you were pregnant?
And so instantly he thinks I'm pregnant, and he keeps giving me weird looks. I'm like, Dad, I have Invisalign. And I'm like, Carly, you can't say things like that.
That's my poor cousin. Everybody, every time she's does something different, people are like, she's pregnant? And I'm like, guys, leave Abby alone. Leave her alone.
Please.
But yeah, now people are expected, when I was in a long-term relationship, they expected me to announce an engagement or pregnancy every time. I'm like, no, I got my master's degree. Is that not? Then they're like, oh, and walk. I'm like, that was probably more work.
Probably was.
I mean, not more work than having a child, but definitely more work than getting engaged. That's not even an achievement. That's just somebody else putting up with you.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
That was my forever annoyance that people would celebrate other things, but they're like, oh, you got a graduate degree. And I'm like, sorry, would you have been happier if I got married? I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to get a graduate degree. I can attest.
Yeah.
Not easy.
What are you doing, David?
So, these brownies are delicious.
What kind are
they? Are you eating a brownie and drinking beer?
You know,
Yeah, it's a
YOLO.
Saturday night.
Do the kids still say that?
I mean,
I'm sorry,
I haven't
Emily,
said
what did
that
you
since
say?
2009.
YOLO.
Actually, I'm lying. I said that last week.
David is technically like the kids of us because Rachel and I are
Technically.
old maids at this point.
Yeah.
I think
Although I'm 25, I feel 45.
Shut up! I turn 30 next
But
year.
look at this beautiful thing.
Oh, I don't like sprinkles. I'm out. Sorry.
Well,
The cosmic brownies that have like M&Ms.
Oh,
I like
yes.
those.
Yeah.
I can
But-
eat a whole box and not regret it one bit.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
And
The
for
brownie
my-
part of that looked good, but I
okay,
hate
if I show
sprinkles.
it this way,
Good.
delicious brownie.
Perfect.
But this beer, again, we're not paid for this. Sapporo,
Mhm.
Sponsor us.
delicious.
I'm not much a beer drinker.
It's a Japanese beer.
I
And now a
drink
bite of a
beer occasionally, but it really depends. I was gonna try and find something good to toast to Hannah's good news, but
Yes.
she's not here, so
Speaking
next
of
time.
that, have you guys? Sorry for eating on the stream. Did you guys see her post on Twitter?
About her hair?
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's
she
I was
looks
like, who are
good.
you?
Yeah, she sent it to me, and I told her she was a hot mama, and I'm like, I mean that in the most respectful way possible. She's like, no, you're good.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
weird,
like,
though.
I'm
I
gonna
didn't
miss the
think-
blue, but she looks great.
Her
I didn't
clone
think
name
that
is still
they,
Blue.
Of course.
I didn't think that they required you to like not have
Yeah.
colored
I
hair.
mean, she also lives in Tennessee, so it might be departments with conservative.
Right? Yeah, that could be.
justice. I mean, I work for government, and I'm allowed to have my hair purple because actually my boss just literally saw it, and it's faded so bad. She's like, "What's your hair like? A little burgundy?" I'm like, "It's purple."
Well, now that Hannah's hair is no longer blue, I have had like teal hair dye this whole time, like
Do it.
for over
You
a year.
gotta take
Yeah.
over the mantle.
But I
of-
didn't want to. I didn't want to
That's
like steal
funny.
Hannah's thunder. But
Because
now,
I said that I had to dye my hair purple because I couldn't also have blue hair.
right? Yeah,
We
you
gotta
didn't
get like
want to.
Megan to dye it like orange or something, and we could just light up like the rainbow at Celebration.
Yeah, so maybe after my sister's wedding, maybe then. I don't know. I'm still kind
Okay.
of nervous.
I am going to adjust our schedule as well to try and figure out what topics at what time work better. But just because of people being out, I'm gonna have to. So we're gonna pivot. Well, there's pivoting involved. We'll figure it out.
I'm next week, right?
I don't remember.
I thought you had the spreadsheet in front of you.
Not right now because if I open too many things, I'm gonna crash StreamYard.
No worries.
I'm gonna look at it probably in the next day or two. But
I think
I'm
it was
gonna
the
ask.
25th, if I remember.
It might have
correctly.
been, but then we pushed Jason back because Jason was supposed to be this
Oh,
week.
no.
But if I had a good topic for Pride Month, I was going to put me up. But then I have to remember when everybody's off. And so I'm going to ask everybody, I'm going to be like, put in your vacation days. Please submit with, 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah,
And
I
not
can
that
do
I'm trying
any
to
week.
take over.
Sorry, I was gonna say I can do any week except for the week that you put me.
That's okay. I will flip you, no problem. And it's never a problem. Like, or if an anniversary or something, like with this being halfway through Bad Batch, if an anniversary or something comes up, like in December, I'm going to probably for my week, but also I feel like we've done it for other anniversaries. We should. Rogue One's 5th is in December, so let's have Rogue One programming. If something comes up, somebody's birthday, something big happens, or even if you have a great idea, but it's timely for it.
If I'm not doing anything on the day of my birthday falls on a Saturday night happy hour, I'll get freaking.
I was gonna say we should. Wait, isn't your birthday like New Year's Day?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're all gonna get smashed for David's birthday. Let's do it.
It's gonna be an all-night stream, 7 p.m. even though it'll be going into January 2nd, but that's besides the point.
We could do
7
it
p.m.
New Year's Eve and then go into New Year's Day.
There you go. That's more smart.
I often have to work New Year's Day is the problem. I work at a 24/7, 365 center. I worked Christmas Day this year.
I worked Christmas at Disney.
Oh,
That was
I'm
a
sorry.
time, let me tell you.
Yeah, no, I work at a they just made Juneteenth a holiday in Illinois. So yesterday
right.
was technically a holiday, which is really fun when you're like, hey, I work the holiday, I get holiday pay, but the day before I got a vet bill. So I'm like, just reorganize that funding.
Well, we're also observing July 4th this year on the 5th. So
yeah,
that's nice.
I have the 5th off anyway because it's a Monday, so I just get an extra holiday to use whenever I want it. Sometimes the 24/7, 365 job is worth it. Sometimes it is not.
Huh. I get off on holidays, but I don't get paid on holidays. So.
That sucks.
Yeah.
We'll
I get off on the holidays. I get paid on them. But then obviously coming back to the bi-monthly thing, I was so used to getting paid every Thursday with Disney that now I hate it.
I'm sorry.
That
I hate
used
it so
to be the problem. I worked at a truck stop for a long time, and they pay weekly because it just, I mean, obviously just should get people in and to take those jobs because they're kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. So you pay weekly, everything. But the pay period would, if you had direct deposit, you usually got paid on Friday or Saturday. I think Saturday.
Yeah.
The pay period ended at midnight on Wednesday. So if I wanted money to go away for the weekend, I could literally just work my butt off like Monday through Wednesday and pick up as much overtime as I could to have money on Saturday. It was the greatest thing in the world.
Huh. That's very nice.
It was nice, but it wasn't worth it for what they were paying me to deal with the people.
Yeah.
Also, I just realized, and I have not necessarily a bad habit of doing this, but like I went to the gym twice yesterday, and I went this morning, and now I'm having a beer and a brownie. I don't get it.
Okay, so when I did the Boulder 10K, like I told you, I walked the whole thing, did it in like 84 minutes, which is like 10 minutes lower than my best time from a couple of years ago when I was in better shape. So hooray, Rachel. Don't know how I did it. Don't ask. Hurt the next day. But then what did I do after doing this? I came home, I drank my water, I got in the car, and I took my dog out for ice cream.
Well, it's better than doing those things, which you would probably do anyway, without the exercise.
That is true.
That's fair.
Sustaining your life.
That's fair.
It was because it was towards the end of the month, and my friend works. My friend Missy, who comes to stream sometimes, is she works for a legislator in the Illinois Senate, so she works overtime towards the end of May because that's the end of session. So I had to go run her mozzarella sticks and a Sonic ice cream because she was at work at 10 o'clock at night. Wow. So I had the dogs in the car, and we ran Aunt Missy some ice cream.
Ice cream sounds good.
It is good.
Some Cold Stone ice cream with peanut butter cups.
Yes.
I got Prairie Farms ice cream while I was at the zoo in St. Louis, and it was so good.
See,
ice cream.
next time you come visit on a happier occasion, Emily, we should, because St. Louis is not that far from me. We should do something.
I will say it was not a good zoo day because it was really, really hot.
Oh God, yeah. We went. Ethan and I. My friend Ethan is my best friend, but he's a lighting designer, so he travels, to different colleges to be a professor. Right now, he lives in Duluth most of the time, but he was in St. Louis to visit a sister, so I drove down to see him, and we went to the zoo. But it was the literal 160-degree day in May. It was Mother's Day. We went to the zoo on Mother's Day, and it was freaking freezing. So that's why there's pictures of me. I'm wearing, because I have my gray scarf, and my jacket is Jen's jacket from the Her Universe line. But I have a separate gray scarf I was wearing to, tuck in my neck to be cute. No, I was wearing it like she does on Jeddah over her head as a hood because my ears were freezing. I'm like, it is May. It is May. I don't know why I'm cold. So there's pictures of me looking like I'm about to steal the Death Star plans next to a dinosaur. Did you see the dinosaurs?
I did not know.
No, I don't think so.
Because
They
that
were
used
kind of
to
fun.
be the children's zoo, and we didn't go there because we wanted to go to the children's zoo, and it is closed and
Yeah.
doing the dinosaur right now. So
It was they were pretty. I love dinosaurs because I love Jurassic Park and all that jazz. So I love dinosaurs. We did that, and we bought $12 worth of food to feed the stingrays because we're grown ups and we could.
we also
then we
didn't do
walked
that.
around-
We did everything else.
And we walked around the park sharing a Dole Whip before dinner. We were eating ice cream before dinner because we kind of had that moment of, we're adults. We can.
Yeah.
Yeah. While I was there, I figured out that Mr. Pibb is just more widely available in Missouri. You could go to Walmart and buy like a 12-pack cans, and we did, and we drove them to Alabama.
You know, I'm not a big root beer guy.
It's not
Mr.
root beer.
Pibb isn't root beer.
It's not root
Wait,
beer.
what is?
Mr. Pibb's like Dr. Pepper.
It's Dr. Pepper,
Oh.
but better.
Oh, what am I thinking of?
Root beer?
Dad's root beer.
It starts with a B, doesn't it?
Barks.
There we go. That's it. I don't know why. I
Okay,
thought,
so
I'm gonna
if you
just
ever
shut up.
want root beer, little stand in a town called Oglesby in the middle of Illinois. It's a little drive-in called the Root Beer Stand. Best root beer you'll ever have.
Huh.
Okay.
So if you're ever in Oglesby, Illinois,
I'll remember that. I'll make sure to go when the cicadas are. Get the twofer. Get the root beer
It'll be
and
great.
cicada will fly into my root
They're
beer.
in Illinois. I don't know if they're supposed to be in Illinois.
If they get wind of me going, they'll follow me
Yes, they will.
just to spite me. Funny thing. I got my voter registration card mailed to me the other day, and then I put it in my pocket, and then I washed the pants
Yep.
the voter registration card was in. So now
Ask
it's just a crumpled up piece of paper.
ask where my COVID vax card is.
I think mine's in my car.
Pretty sure mine's either like buried in my car or
Yeah.
because I always have a ton of stuff for my dogs in my car, so I lose stuff all the time because it's under the dogs. Because my dogs have a car seat and a stroller. They're spoiled little sausages. But yeah, either that or I'm pretty sure I might have washed my vax card. So
Yeah. Also, when you guys got your vaccines, those 15 minutes that they make you wait after you get the shot, this happened to me both times. Like, do you get in your own head while you're sitting there and you're like, I feel a little weird? Why do I feel a little weird? It happened to me.
I have anxiety.
It happened to me the
David.
first time.
That's like my
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I got a magazine and I was reading it and I was like, I have to put this down. I don't know. Like, I feel weird. And then when I left, I felt fine. But it was like so bizarre. I was like, because they ask you when you are filling out the thing to check in, like, oh, are you allergic to poly whatever thing? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. I'm just gonna say no. And then while I'm sitting there, I'm like, what if this has that? And I've never had it, and I, go into some, form of shock, and and then I'm just, just collapsed on the floor of a CVS. I don't want that.
Come at you with an
You're-
EpiPen.
Yeah, right.
I had friends who had to get their vax like in by the hospital. Like they were supposed to like get their vax and have somebody drive them and wait in the parking lot of the ER for the 15 minutes just in case.
Huh.
Like it was, but
I went to Walmart and they like said, we recommend you waiting, but like the first time I got it, I sat there and waited like 30 minutes because no one said anything to me until finally I just like left.
You're like, all right, can I,
The second time I asked, hey, do I have to stay? And they're like, yeah, but So I just walked around Walmart for 15 minutes and then left.
There you go.
See, the second time I was worried, it was a warmish day. It was probably, 73 but sunny. But I took the dogs with me because before they had got me literally in before my appointment time, and I can leave my car running and because it's a key fob and lock it and walk away and the car will run for 30 minutes and run the AC for them. But they were so behind that day. I was like, I'm gonna have to go walk out and be like, if I don't come back in, come after me because I'm gonna go have to restart my car so the dogs don't lose air conditioning.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It
because
was
my dogs go everywhere with me.
it was so weird. So I got my second shot on Thursday, and then after I got it, I went to Walmart, and then I got back home, and then the morning of it was like lunchtime on Friday. I went to the gym, and then I think that was partly the reason why I felt like shit last night. But then, of course, I wake up this morning. I went to the gym again, and yeah, it's a good time.
Which shot did you get?
Pfizer.
See, that was they say that the younger you are, the more Pfizer gave people side effects. Like my coworker who's 22 felt like he got hit by a truck.
Yeah.
I felt tired, but
I had a lot of soreness in my arm. And then I think I think what messed me up was just going to the gym. I just shouldn't have done that. But now I feel fine. But I'm still so conditioned to wearing a mask.
Yeah.
That I'm I'm still gonna wear it.
I was gonna say you got 2 weeks before you hit full immunity, bub.
Yeah.
I still wear one most places just because I feel more comfortable that way. But for short trips in some stores, I won't wear one, and then I'm like, oh my god, I turn into the Mandalorian when he takes his helmet off. They can see me.
Yeah.
Today we went to Disney Springs.
Wearing ours, but we've been fully vaxxed for almost, I guess, a month, a little over.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys got your shots a while ago.
Yep.
And apparently, Disney's gonna be at full capacity by the end of the year again. So, because they're restarting fireworks on July 1st, and I think in August they might be restarting the annual pass system.
Hey, if you go to Hollywood Studios, you gotta look up my friend and tell her I said, hey, just to completely freak her out.
I will.
That'd be hilarious.
Going to Hollywood Studios is very dangerous for me.
Yeah,
the last
I know.
time I was at Hollywood Studios, I bought 5 lightsabers, and that just can't happen again.
See, I bought this. She doesn't watch our stream, so I can't. There is a shop I will probably retweet later that is having a moving sale, which is where I got my star necklace. But I bought her a friendship card.
But not to me. That's funny.
And I even got a free postcard of Tally.
Oh, that's cool.
It is. It was really cool stuff. I love it. But yeah, that was I even bought a new nose ring to go with my necklace, which is the level of coordination I'm apparently at, right now. Because I wear my nose ring as a star, but I couldn't wear a gold star with a silver star. That would not be done. So now I have two different colors of stars. Oh. Why are you holding a lightsaber, David?
I don't know. It was there.
Or is it Luke's? I can't
tell.
It's
Return of the Jedi.
I'm not.
Nice.
A true fan.
Not a true fan.
It looks good.
It's let me tell you. If anybody ever broke into my house,
just
this thing hurts.
Oh, that's metal. Not where I thought you were saying. This was the thing I would miss the most.
Oh no. Honestly, I'll be like, dude, take your pick. It's really
No, not Buff Qui-Gon.
No, he is safely stored. Nobody's finding him.
David has a gun safe, but there's no guns in it. It's just Buff Qui-Gon.
It's just him. For those of you who've seen The Conjuring, it's like the Annabelle doll in the case. That's where Qui-Gon sits.
Oh, I saw The Devil Made Me Do It.
What did you think?
The night before last. We went on a Thursday. night.
You saw it in the theater?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, how was that experience?
Scary movies are scarier in the theater
Yeah,
than at home.
That's why I watched it here.
There were people sitting right behind me, and I know that they had to be laughing at me because I watched it like this the whole time. Like as soon as the music gets ominous or goes away, because that's another thing. Like, then I'm like,
the beginning of that movie's no joke.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I was like, oh shit, they're really
I think
just
the
starting
beginning
off.
was the scariest part. Like, it was. Whew.
Yeah, that was tough.
And then it took a day of processing, and I work from home, and Rex isn't here anymore, so I worked by myself here on a Friday. I like opened all the windows, turned on all the lights.
Yeah.
Do you need a substitute guard dog? Because I have an 8-pound Chihuahua that thinks he's a pit bull. Okay, so my dog has some sort of scratch in his eye that's turning into so he has to have 2 kinds of drops in it. But we had to be basically squished in at the vet's office because of this. So I was not feeling well on Thursday and stayed home from work, but I still had to take my dog to the vet. But we're squished in, so we're kind of the appointment that they're putting in when we have time. There's this pit bull that walks out of not just like a pit bull, but one of them that's definitely a pit bull bred with another kind of bulldog. Short, squat, muscular, beefy boy.
Yeah.
Beefy. Looks like the best dog on the planet. Adorable guy. But this dog, my dog, turns around and starts going, ruff, ruff. My dog is the size of this dog's head. And my dog's like, I'm gonna fight him. And I'm like, I'm sure you are. And then the pit bull's just like, herp, derp, derp, derp. I'm like, God bless pit bulls.
Oh my god.
Meanwhile, my Chihuahua's like, hey, you, fuck you. I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I had a bird, and for whatever reason, this bird would always fly on the top of my mom's head. And that's just where she would just hang out.
Yeah.
Seems logical.
Yeah. Like sometimes you think back at things in your life and you're like, did that actually happen? Like sometimes I question if I ever even owned a bird. But I did. I had 2.
Yeah, we own some birds.
Yeah. It's like looking back, I'm like, a bird. It's such a weird concept to own a bird.
Yeah, I think I'm falling out of practice.
Yeah, it's like you're owning an animal that's supposed to fly.
Yeah.
And not be in a cage.
That's right.
Yeah.
Fly.
Yeah.
And you clip their wings and stuff, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, David, is it you? Who is it that has the noise?
What noise?
I don't know.
I think it's David. There's something.
What noise?
It sounds like a bell. Like
it keeps going, dun,
something
dun,
metal.
dun.
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably the mic. The mic or my chair. One of the two.
I don't know. It sounds like, I don't know.
There's a clock that might be making noise. I don't. Now you're freaking me out because if there's something in here,
it's a ghost.
You're gonna get this to the face.
Watch. His girlfriend's gonna walk in behind him.
No, she's not here. However,
that you know of.
She's gonna come in.
She's out of the state. Okay. Which, if she was here, that would freak me out even more because I'm like, you're not supposed to be here.
I think you're fine.
You're good, David. Calm down.
Anyway.
You're fine. You're fine.
No, after that one day with the. Don't.
Oh, was anyone on? During the Alexa thing, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Tell me the story.
So Jason is just talking about nothing. Alexa goes, "Okay, I'll play the Eagles," and starts playing the Eagles. And Zera's like, "Dad." And Meg and I are cracking up because Jason just looks so freaked out, and Meg and I are losing our shit. And so I just text.
I have to watch that back.
I have Jason's number from when he texted me to stop the stream one night. So we had to get a text the next morning that just said, "Are you okay, or did Alexa kill you?"
Oh God.
Fine, I got it.
Oh, that's funny. My husband won't allow me to have an Alexa because he's into like cybersecurity and it doesn't feel right about them listening in on you.
That was the other day I saw tech supporting people. Hey guys, look, I have everything in my house is smart. People who work in tech. No, the only electronic allowed is a printer, and I got a gun next to it in case it makes a weird noise. That's my life.
I got my mom an Alexa for Christmas, and I wish I didn't.
I have one, I just don't use it, so it's unplugged.
Well, mainly because my niece's name is Alexa. So anytime she's on like FaceTime, she says her name and then the Alexa starts talking and it's just like,
you can change what it responds to.
I do know that.
I was to say
However,
can make it
I'm lazy and I don't do it.
Look, I can't fix that. I was going to say I've made mine. It used to be because Jason and I had two. One of them would go off to Alexa. One of them would go to Echo. So
if I did it to Echo, I would have to say Echo 3 to Echo 7 every single time. I can't just say Echo, and then it wouldn't. And I think you could put Samuel Jackson's voice too. That was like a new update that they did.
What if Echo is the founder of Echo Base, or do you think they're gonna tie it?
Bringing it back to Star Wars.
Okay, so fun story. My because I'm a nerd, you know how you can name your Wi-Fi? Mine is Echo Base. So you have to connect to Echo Base Wi-Fi.
One in my neighborhood is Jedi Temple, another one is Sith Temple, and another one is another Star Wars related name.
I knew that I was going to get along with one of the authors I had in for a play festival when, you know how you can have a signature on your email? Every email she sends says, "Sent from the swamps of Dagobah."
That's cool.
I think that's about, we're about at time. Final thoughts? I don't know.
8:54.
I don't think we're there yet.
I was willing to wrap it up because we actually had a stopping point instead of,
Listen, if you guys got something to do, we can end it. If you don't have anything to do, we just keep going. It's up to you at this point.
Sure, put it on me. I wanted to hear what story you had, but then I had to hit the road to my parents. So.
Oh, that's right.
That is right.
Yeah, we'll end now.
So now make me the bad guy.
Oh no! Listen, I'll probably be asleep in the next hour.
Keep drinking that beer that fast,
I'm gonna go eat dinner.
It is.
That is one thing about Invisalign. People say that you lose weight because you can't snack all the time. But for me, what actually happens is I just eat everything in a shorter amount of time. And I eat more than I would because I know I won't be able to eat it later. So I'm like, dinner, ice cream, alcohol.
Do it.
In that order.
Dinner,
ice cream, alcohol. Well, before we go, I want to show you guys what I had for lunch today because it was really freaking good. Some seafood. It was a shrimp boil.
Ooh.
That does look really good.
It was delicious. But of course, corn on the cob, it was stuck in my teeth for like an hour.
Yeah.
There's no dignified way to eat that either.
No, you just gotta hold it and just go to town on it, I guess. Anyway, we're down to the last 4 minutes. And, any final thoughts? Anybody?
I liked your phone case.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Did I show you my new phone case?
No.
Of course.
Oh. Well, I don't have a Star Wars phone case.
From the non-believer. No, you could get it on a phone case and a bunch of other stuff. So I have it on a phone case, and I have it on a pillow to go in my Rogue One living room because this phone case is only going to last 6 months because I'm really hard on phone cases.
I'm really surprised this thing hasn't just broken yet. Anyway, guys, thank you for.
What was in your brow?
I think I'm just tired.
David went down.
I went downhill real fast.
This has been the Followers of the Force podcast. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram, on Twitter. We have a TeePublic store.
New shows.
Patreon.
Wednesday.
New shows. Oh, pending verification from Lucasfilm for our Your Star Wars Journey series. Jesse Nelson from the composer of Star Wars Biomes and the vehicle fly-throughs may be coming on the show soon. So keep an eye out for that. So yeah, and obviously Patreon, TeePublic, all that good stuff. So thank you for listening and watching, and we will see you next Saturday. Bye-bye. May the Force be with you.